It was David Land, the artistic director of Young Vic then. He suggested Yerma, and I had remembered reading it before I had been through a similar experience myself and finding it really interesting, but obviously not having that gut feeling of, wow, I recognize this story, I recognize this dilemma. And as soon as David said you should do Yerma, I went, oh, I've actually got a lot more to say about that since I first read it. And I didn't realize that until someone had mentioned it to me. And also when the person who I went through this with and I went through it, I wasn't reflecting on, oh, this is kind of like that play that Lorca wrote. But it kind of felt remarkably of the moment all of a sudden, which is a strange thing to think about in terms of a play written in the 30s in Spain. It's strange to imagine that the peasant Catholic repressive reality of needing to have a child to prove your womanhood could translate into a contemporary secular world.
We call her in the script. I suppose the original character would be called Yerma. Certainly in our adaptation, she's a modern woman who's done very well at work, who has a successful life and partnership and friend circle, and they've just bought their first house, and that's pretty significant in the UK. It's a big deal to own a property. What comes next is, the sort of natural milestone of considering having a family, and she's a woman who's sort of been able to pursue and achieve with great success, and this is an area that she can't easily access. She's unable to get pregnant, and it becomes something that totally consumes her. Much as it's about not being able to get pregnant, it's about a modern relationship sort of burning out and with the pressures of society, and I think it's something we can all actually relate to.
I suddenly realized that the curse that you feel biologically, regardless of whatever ways you've decided to identify yourself as a woman, which don't have anything to do with your reproductive system, that don't have anything to do with how men traditionally see your function in society, that even the most open-minded, forward-thinking, liberated, equal, strong woman still has a womb, and it's something we can't ignore, and it's something she can't ignore. And what is it when suddenly you have this conflict with yourself, with your enlightened, liberated self, and realize that you're becoming a character in a early 20th century Spanish play? Like, what is it if you become Yerma for a contemporary woman in a city like London? And that's terrifying. It's horrifying to find yourself in a mythology where you feel trapped by your body.
I think if you want to feel emotionally connected to something, I don't think it really matters if it's something you've experienced firsthand yourself. I just think in terms of watching a story about a couple, and on that level we've all experienced that, but I think if you want to feel really connected to something, I think it's a great one to come and see. It's certainly not light in its content, but hopefully you'll leave feeling actually moved by a piece of drama, which is always my quest when I go to the theatre. I just want to be ripped up,